So, it's morning. Morning means breakfast. But before breakfast, we stretch, we eat some bread, some butter, and then inevitably something happens that simply has to happen. Poop. Okay, let's talk about poop. Poop is a big deal in life, not just for humans, for all living things really, but on a very small boat it can get complicated. Of course, if you have a 50-footer, there is a toilet. Even on a 40-footer, there is a toilet. Or on a 30 or a 28-footer, there is still a toilet. But on a 6 or 7-meter boat, if there is one, it is usually so awkward that you never actually use it. So how do we solve the problem? Let me show you my boat, how it is now and how it used to be, more importantly, and how I solved the poop problem. Okay, there was a toilet once, and it was right here, under this cushion. You remove the cushion, there is a hatch, open the hatch, and there it was. But it was such a pain to use it, especially while sailing, that I decided to remove the marine toilet and the pump, seal the through hull properly, and use the space for something much more useful in day life, like charts and stuff. So, how did I solve the problem? Because nature calls every morning, and sometimes more often, and you have to answer. How do I do it? Well, the simplest way is to go outside, hang on the swim ladder, and do what you need to do. I don't need to explain the details, because you have got the idea. It is quick, clean, and easy.
If you like this video, subscribe, and this night you'll be mine! Yeah!
Now, don't tell me it pollutes, because marine toilets, unless you have got a black water tank, dump straight into the sea anyway. So it is exactly the same thing. That's just how it is. But what about when we are sailing? You can't hang off the stern like a monkey. You might fall, lose the boat, and die. So I use a simple ancient system. The good old bucket. But how using the bucket? It is not as easy as it sounds. If you don't do it right, it gets gross. Do it right though, and it is clean, simple, and works just as well as a marine toilet. Here is my official toilet bucket in which I do my things. This one is for the bathroom business. It has the right height, not to be confused with the black one for washing dishes. Mixing them up would be a tragedy. Now, let's take the bucket to the cabin. How to use a bucket effectively? First, it has to be the right size. You should be able to sit comfortably on it. I don't need to tell you what happens after that, because you know the procedure. But how to prepare the bucket before sitting on it is key. That's what makes it easy to empty and keeps it clean. You take a sheet of newspaper, place it inside nicely, sit down and do your business. Now, how do I dump it? That takes a little skill and practice. You carry the bucket outside. I'll spare you the actual content. And with a precise hand motion, you empty it. How though? Dunque, grab the bucket on the opposite side of the paper. dip it into the water while holding the paper edge. Now I don't do it, but dip it into the water and then let go. The paper and its content go into the sea. Throw a bit of seawater over it and done. With a little practice, you can empty the bucket cleanly. The paper-wrapped package drifts off peacefully towards the sunrise, then sinks after a couple of minutes, and the bucket is perfectly clean. Maybe just rinse it a bit, just in case. So we have learned something we thought we already knew, but no. There are also other ways to poop. That's it for this episode. I know that the topic was a bit unusual, but I think it is worth talking about it, just like when you have to talk about your kids going down the wrong path. It is awkward, but you have to do it. So we talked about poop, the episode is over. I hope even if you didn't like it, you found it useful. See you in the next video. And as always, if we don't see each other here, I'll see you somewhere on the hook. Not while we are pooping.
Ciao!